quick update. I'm done with the harness on the headlights and the fog lights. I just want to do a quick video on how they look like. So basically this is how I've got it running. I gave myself a little bit of slack here and right there on the back, so when I'm done with this fender I can still kind of snake it around or in through the fender or on the side. I haven't made up my mind yet. So here's the ground. I do have to turn that down. You don't want to have anything facing up like this, because what will happen is rain will drip right into it and it'll corrode. So you gotta change that, you gotta bend that down. And this is my actually let me show you this side. So basically everything's in one of these sleeves, one plug deal, and headlight turns on. So before, when I first did this car, it was pretty jerry-rigged and there was like wires everywhere and it just did not look good. So second time around, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. So this is what we did. So this is basically just the OEM wires, and they plug it real nice like that, all individually redone. Okay, so all this was not like that before. And then we have this line, this smaller line, which is the fog light, and that comes from the other side from the dash with relays and everything. And then we have the horn, which plugs up right there. And then we have this big wire, which is just dangling here, like that at the moment. But that's for the radiator. I still haven't figured out the radiator thing yet. I don't like these Mishimoto cheap ass mounts. They're literally a zip tie. Zero confidence in that. So we're gonna have to figure out a different way to mount that. I thought that was a joke when I got it. Here's a simple review for you guys. Anyhow, that line comes this way, and it comes up this way, comes up like that. And I did manage to break my bulbs, so I'm going to fix that. But anyhow, that plugs in like so for this side, and this is how you're supposed to mount the ground terminals. At least 45 degree or straight down. That's what I like to do. I've learned from my mistakes. I mean, that was a big mistake in my half a while back. Had some corrosion issues. And once again, properly terminated with the right connector. It's nice because going from a USDM front end to a JDM front end, that connector has to be sourced. It does not come with the USDM wiring harness, so you have to source that. Actually, I found a link on eBay. eBay actually sells that. I think it was only $14, so I think I ripped off 5 years ago. I think I paid $45 for it. But eBay sells it for $15, and I think it comes with 5 wires instead of 4, like I had to put in another pin. So do an eBay search for that, for the JDM front guys. And then, let's see. Like I said, this is the fog light harness. Comes in, I incorporated right here. These are the two water bottle, front windshield and the back windshield. I don't know which one is which. I'll have to plug it up later and I'll figure that out, and then I'll snip one off basically, and then it snakes back like that. So as far as the lights go and everything, let me show you guys the fog lights first. So the fog light, this car doesn't come with a fog light switch. Never has. Before I had a switch that was on my that was on this console area that I physically pressed, but now that I've deleted that, there are no more buttons there, so I have to put buttons somewhere, and I really didn't have a good spot. So I actually saw this one guy come up with this cool idea for the cruise control. I know Type R's don't come with cruise controls, and I think they have a button in place. So ta-da! Right there, there's a button. Okay, I forgot where I bought that button from, but let me show you guys a close-up of it. Like that. Press that button. You can see it. The little green comes on. And you got fog lights. Alright. That's how the fog lights work. Now, how I wired them was a little tricky because I basically built a harness to go inside with the OEM harnesses, and I pulled power. Well, let me just show you guys. This is how I did it. This line right here is pulling power off of my bus on that side that I talked about before. That goes to a relay. Show you guys what I got. So basically, it comes to this relay. Well, it comes to that fuse, and then it goes to the relay, and then the power then goes and connects via this blue line all the way up on this connector right here. That's the special connector you need to go find. That little brown one right there. Right there. That one is actually here. It's just kind of stored up there. It's kind of taped down. And you have to go find that connector, because that connector is actually part of the harness. And it's open-ended. So one end is sitting there, the other end is sitting over there. I think they actually want you to use that as a harness. I think. Because it's open in on that end, open in on the other end. So basically cut that connector off, give yourself like 4 inches, and run that wire out to your headlights, and then take that connector, come back and use that connector from the relay, the output of the relay, and connect up that way. That way you have to run a wire all the way out. Because before, what I did was we would snake a wire, actually between the door and between the fenders, which is super ghetto, and that's how we got power to the headlights. But now I've run it this way. I actually use the harness to do it, and then obviously the button. I don't know if that's an OEM button or not, but I bought it a long time ago, and that basically just energizes the relay, and it's powered by itself. But there's a blue. It's either blue or red or green. I think it's the green line coming off the connector. When you press the button, it sends power out on that green connector. So you take that green connector and you tie it to the line on the relay. It's the 85 or 86, because the 287s are passing power by. So do that, and that's how it works. You can physically hear it. That's it. That's it. That's all I got for my relays. Alright, let's show you the headlights before we conclude on the headlight project. So, that's what I got. And I gotta say, these beauties look good. I mean, they could probably use a new lens, because it is fracturing, which is not cool. But on top of that, headlights are working. Next thing we gotta do is I'm gonna do the fuel pump relay system. I don't have a fuel pump yet, but I'm gonna get it ready, because there's gonna be a fuel pump on the way. And then we're gonna have to drop the fuel tank, and we'll have to put a new fuel tank in, stuff like that. And that system is done. And then I just have to run the starter cable. I've decided to basically come up and go in right there, because I don't want to run too many lines going back. But at the same time, I think I should just run the lines. Still a little undecided, but then I still got to run the alternator lines to the terminals down here. Show you guys the terminals. So far this power bus is already coming in pretty handy. This power bus is feeding my that little wire that's coming up right there. That's the fog lights, and then once again there's gonna be another one that comes off of that, and that's gonna be fuel pump. So building a little bus goes a long ways, and see you in a bit. So I just want to give you guys a quick rundown of what I've been doing and where I'm finishing up for the night. So I've been wiring crazy. And what I've been doing is basically anything that carries a lot of power. Let's see. Yeah, anything that carries a lot of power, I've been running them inside these flex tubes, and I'm gonna run these also with running a flex tube. But this is to ensure that over time, because you have a lot of vibrations and stuff in your car, especially this being like a potential weekend race car, you don't ever want to short anything out to the frame. It's gonna be pretty bad for you, because a lot of times like breakers won't actually break if it's rated too high, or if it's before the breaker. things will just short out and they'll cause fires. So you want to avoid fires at all costs. So a cheap way to do that is just to rig it up right the first time. So what I've been doing is I have wires that goes to my my spade connectors, and then I put a heat shrink over that. Let me see. So I run spade connectors and I put heat shrink over that, and then I put that inside of a flex conduit or whatever they call it. That's my relay setup for my high output fuel pump. It's done, but I haven't ran it yet because I don't have a fuel pump yet. But it's pretty much ready to go. That's gonna be that end right there. That's gonna be going to my my voltage bus, and then I have the long line. This real long line will go to the fuel pump, the red, and then black is this ground, and then blue will be for the signal off the ECU, and it'll come right off of my AEM. So I'm basically today I just built this harness, and then we will try to install the AEM next, and from there on out we will try to run this harness, and we will try to do everything else from the harness or from the ECU out. So we're gonna have to find a way to mount the ECU. We'll probably have to cut something up and mount it, because all they provided with the ECU is double-sided stick tape, so that's not cool for me. We're gonna probably want to mount it somewhere where we can easily get access to it, so that we can tune and we can do all that cool jazz. So I'm still undecided where I'm gonna put it. I'm actually kind of thinking. That's what I'm kind of thinking, because I haven't seen nobody do this yet. Because I'm thinking, if this fits, I'm gonna have to check the width on this, but if that fits in the den, I might just install it right there. You just see AEM right there. I think that'd be pretty cool, but I don't think it'll fit properly. You know, I think it's a little on the big side, or maybe at least just have the COM port sticking out somewhere. We'll see. We'll make something look good. But anyways, I'm burnt. It's 11:30. Still gotta go to work tomorrow. It's Wednesday night. Drink of the night is Crush Peach. That's all I got. Closing up shop. That's it for tonight, guys. See you on the next one. Alright, guys. Gripe of the night is, how the hell are you supposed to mount an ECU to your chassis that has no supports anywhere, or holes or anything? Like, for example, this is the OEM ECU. See how it's got all these wings, bolting points, and this is how it goes on into the computer. This is the bracket off the car, and it goes in like this. See how it lines up perfectly like that? Seems pretty easy, but take that same bracket, this will not fit on it. Yeah, I'm a dumbass because this is Integra and this is an S2000 ECU, but I mean, give me something. Give me some type of mounting point. The only thing they give you is double-sided tape. Well, if you're gonna use double-sided tape, you gotta have a flat surface, right? There is no flat surface in the car. Okay, so you have to build something. What I've built is this piece. Quite simply, it's just a piece of metal. Goes over the bracket using the existing holes. I will then take double-sided tape to tape my $1,600 computer to the side, like that. Actually, it might be upside down. This way. Like that, once it's in the car. A little disappointed, but it is what it is. And if the guys at AEM ever look at this, please fix your shit. Recommendations on how to do that is, take these wings, take something like that, and put it on the edge. I know this piece is extruded, so you can't do it. But these little block plates, you can do that. Give me something here, some on this end, or some on that end. Or heck, just do a hole right in the middle. That could be fine too. Give me something. Give me something. Give us something. It's getting towards the end of the night. Let me show you guys what I got. Give like a progress report before I go to bed. You know, so you gotta work tomorrow. It's Thursday night. Let's see what we got. Let me quickly explain what we got. We got the engine harness coming into the EMS, like I said before. But then this harness comes out, and I've chopped it. The other part plugs into this, which goes to that harness down here. And I've also chopped it. So what we're doing now. Oh, and the rest is only like 4 wires that's going to the cluster, the S2K cluster. And the rest of the pigtails here is going to interface with the Integra dash. So, I know it kind of sounds daunting, even to me a little bit, but I feel pretty confident about what I'm doing. So, if you are not confident, do not do what I just did. Just whack off like 30 pieces of wire, because you're gonna kick yourself in the butt later. But if I did have to go back, it is color coded, and I could just match it back up to the wires. For the most part, yeah, you'll be just fine. But basically, my impressions are, we look at the pinouts again that we just went over on the last video, and we see what we gotta see what we need. You know, like I mentioned in the, I think 2 videos ago, there's a lot of stuff that we don't need, like for example, air pump stuff. We're not gonna need that stuff. It's not even wired on the engine harness, so we're not gonna bother with that. Stuff we do need is like water temperature, idle air control valve, the map sensor, throttle position, stuff like that. So if that happens to be something that was connected here or comes out of this plug, we will worry about it. Everything else, I took the original S2000 harness and I just basically extended everything. So I feel pretty confident that those will be fine. It's all soldered in. It's gonna be just fine. The only thing left we got to do is wire up power and ground to the harness, and in theory we should be able to power it up and run a laptop, plug up to the USB port on it, and at least talk to it and upload calibrations to it. So but I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna tuck everything, extend all the wires, make sure all the turn signals work, make sure all the turn signals work on here, make sure this thing lights up, make sure everything looks great before we do that. Plus we still got to install a fuel pump, and we got to drop the fuel tank, which reminds me, we still got to order a fuel tank. We still got to look at the hanger system, the hanger situations, fuel tank hanger situation, and the fuel level sensor in situation. So there's still a lot to do before we fire it up, but we're getting pretty close. I have a pretty good feeling about it that we can actually maybe crank it, at least put oil in it, stuff like that. When I built the engine 4 years ago, I used that it was a Lucas oil, like oil that it's a builder's oil where you build it and you expect to store the engine for a long time. So I use that on everything. So I'm expecting that to still be there, like doing its job. Hopefully nothing's rusted out. But yeah, anyways, that's all I got for tonight. Like and subscribe if you guys like this type of stuff and all this electrical shit. Like I said, it's a little on the unusual side, but that's what I do. That's what I enjoy doing. And at the end of the day, I could really say I built this car versus I assembled this car. So anyways, see you guys on the next episode.